Good day, everyone. It is a great pleasure getting across to you this particular period. Before we start our classes, I want you to get all the necessary materials and get settled before we begin to look at the topic for today. The topic we'll be looking at today is consumer protection, and this is a topic under business studies. Before we go ahead and discuss this particular topic, I want to highlight a learning objective. The learning objective for this particular class include that learners will be able to 1. Define consumer and consumer protection. 2. Give the meaning of rights and consumer rights. List and explain needs for consumer protection. List and discuss various organs of consumer protection. And finally, we are expected to be able to discuss the importance of consumer protection. Like I mentioned, we are looking at consumers protection. This is a topic that applies to our society and the economy at large. We discover that producers and manufacturers are not just pushing out goods and products, but they are expected to observe some obligations to the customers or consumers. And that is what leads us to this particular topic that we are looking at today, which is consumers protection. By the way, who is a consumer? When we say a consumer or somebody is a consumer, so what do we mean by a consumer? Definition of a consumer. A consumer is an individual, household, or organization that makes use of a product or service of a firm, e.g., a commuter, boarding a vehicle or a keke napep, a learner, or a parent. All these set of people, they fall under what we refer to as consumers. What is consumer protection? Consumer protection are the series of efforts put in place by producers, consumers, and organs of government to shield consumers from being exploited or cheated. In other words, these are the various efforts and activities that have been put in place to ensure that consumers are not denied of some of their basic rights as regards a product or a service. Meaning of rights of a consumer. Before we go ahead and look at meaning of rights of a consumer, what do we understand by rights in the first place? Rights are the privileges that customers are expected to enjoy while consuming a product or enjoying a service. In other words, they are privileges that have been put in place which the customers or consumers are expected to enjoy while they are using a product or enjoying a service. The rights of a consumer. What are some of these rights? What are some of these privileges that consumers are expected to enjoy? The different rights of a consumer include the following. 1. Right to life. That is, when customers or consumers make use of product or enjoy services, so they should be able to retain their life. So products or services should not put an end to the life of a customer. 2. Right to be informed. So this is the essence of the numerous information that are provided on the packaging materials of different products. They are loaded with a lot of information that will guide the consumer or that will enable the consumer to derive maximum satisfaction from that particular product. Number 3, right to be heard. The consumers are expected to be able to express themselves. They are expected to be able to lodge complaints or give their observation in the course of using a product or enjoying a service. In addition, we have right to a fair price. That is, consumers are expected to be able to obtain goods and services at a competitive and fair price. That is, price that is not exorbitant, price that is not skyrocketing. So that is the type of right that consumers are expected to enjoy. So it is sure to obtain products at a fair price, at a reasonable price. Then right to a redress. Customers or consumers should be able to go to the court of law and enforce their rights. For example, when a consumer makes use of a product and discovers that the product has been contaminated and maybe it affects his or her health negatively. So that type of customer or consumer can go to the court of law and pray the court that the court should help him or her to enforce the right that he or she has. Other rights of a consumer include right to a decent environment. That is, manufacturers or producers are expected to treat our environment with some level of decency. They are expected to be able to protect the society or the environment in the course of producing different items or goods. In addition, we have right to good things of life. So customers are expected to be able to enjoy or have access to good things of life. Right to quality products. Customers are also expected to be able to enjoy very high quality products. In other words, manufacturers are not expected to send to the market low quality or substandard products or goods. Then, in addition, consumers are expected to be able to make a choice. They are not expected to be restricted in the course of trying to buy a particular product or enjoy a particular service. In other words, there should be nothing like hoarding or an intentional withdrawal of products or goods from circulation. What are some of the needs for consumer protection? What are the reasons why consumers need to be protected? The various needs for consumer protection include: 1. There is need to prevent hoarding. Like I mentioned under the rights, the consumers are expected to be able to have free access to goods and services. They are not supposed to be limited or restricted in any way. Number 2, need to prevent hike in price. In addition, customers or consumers should be able to obtain goods and services at a very reasonable and fair price. The price of a particular product is not supposed to be skyrocketed or highly expensive. Furthermore, we have need to prevent poor quality products. So products that are offered to consumers should be of the best quality. So they are not supposed to be products of poor quality or that are of substandard in quality. So they should be of a very high quality in the course of offering such products to the consumers. There is also need to prevent adulterated products, that is, products that are imitated or products that are fake ones. So the consumers are expected to be protected against such fake and low quality products. They need to avoid unnecessary court cases. So customers will be able to enjoy goods and services without actually having the recourse to a court of law as a result of a case arising from the consumption of a particular product. Then there is need to protect consumers against low quality goods. So products that are offered to the consumers should be of very high quality and that meet every international standard. They need to protect consumers against usage of wrong packaging materials. Customers are expected to be able to use products or enjoy goods and services with the right packaging material. For example, there are some products that are corrosive. So before they are offered to the market for customers, they are expected to be packaged in the right type of material or product. In addition, some products can easily pour away. For example, like cement, and therefore they are expected to be covered with the right packaging material or with the right type of material that will protect it and that will enable the customers to make use of them. The same thing happens to our beverages, tablet soaps, and so on and so forth. So they are not expected to be exposed without being covered in the right packaging material. Need to protect consumers against harmful and unsafe products. products that are offered to the market for consumers should be of high quality and should be free from any form of harm or danger. In other words, when consumers use such a product, so it should not affect them negatively or lead them to a situation where they have to start seeking for medical attention. Need to protect consumers from any form of restriction of choice. So consumers are expected to be able to express their desire to buy a particular product or to enjoy a particular service freely without anybody limiting them. Then there is need to ensure maximum satisfaction. So consumers should be able to derive the highest level of satisfaction from the products or goods that are offered to them in the market. The next thing we'll be looking at is organs of consumer protection. In other words, when we say organs of consumer protection, so what are the various measures, what are the various institutions that have been put in place to ensure that consumers are protected, that they are defended against the excesses of manufacturers and producers. So these organs of consumer protection can be classified into three. We have government organizations or institutions. We have legislations or on consumer issues. Then we have private organizations. Examples of laws and legislations that are made for consumer protection include Sales of Goods Act 1893. So this particular act specifically mention how goods are expected to be transferred to consumers, and that when a particular product is sold, maybe after showing a sample to the consumer, so that the actual product that are sold at the end of the day should be exactly like the sample that have been shown to the customer. In other words, Sales of Goods Act so basically focuses on how title or ownership is eventually transferred to the consumer. We equally have Weights and Measures Act 1974, and this one has to do with ensuring that products that are offered meet the international weights and measures that have been set for them. And that's the reason why we have milligram for some products like our pharmaceutical products. In other words, they are measured in milligrams and in milliliters. Then we have grams and kilograms for items that are physical or that are of more weight, and so on and so forth. So each of them, they are expected to be able to meet the set weight or measures required. We equally have Hire Purchase Act. So this is another act or law that is expected to protect consumers in the course of acquiring some assets on a hire purchase contract. Then we equally have Consumer Protection Council Act. So this act is the one that established Consumer Protection Council. This is the body that is established to monitor and ensure that consumers' rights are not trampled upon. Then we equally have Rent Act. So Rent Act is another act that is established to protect consumers. And who are the consumers here? So the consumers here are the tenants, while the landlords are the owners here, or the manufacturer, or the person that's selling something here. So this particular law is made to ensure that the landlord does not deny the tenants of their basic rights in relation to the room or maybe the apartment that they occupy in their homes. So we have some organs or institutions like Consumer Protection Council, and this is the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control. So this one is another organ of consumer protection, and it's a government institution. Then we equally have some Standard Organization of Nigeria. So this one also is another government institution that is established to ensure that the products that are rolled out into the market, that they are able to meet the required standards. Then we equally have government institutions, like I mentioned, in the course of trying to protect consumers. So government institutions, such organs of consumer protection that are owned by government include Standard Organization of Nigeria, so which is an institution that is established to ensure that every product that is manufactured is able to meet the international standards set for such product. Then we have National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control. So this is the type of this is the agency that is responsible for ensuring that every product that is rolled out, that they are tested and approved, and that they are not dangerous for human consumption, and that they've been able to meet the standard set for such a product. Then we have Federal Environmental Protection Agency. So this one also is an agent that is established to protect consumers against some of the excesses of manufacturers in the environment or in the society. That is, for example, like pushing out their waste products into the drainages or into the streams and waterways. So this type of government institution is the one that is responsible for ensuring that such waste materials are treated before they are released to the society. We equally have National Electricity Regulatory Council. So this is an organ of government that is equally as well to protect consumers of electricity against excessive charges and maybe poor supply of electricity. Another good example of a organ of government that is meant to protect consumers is the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency. We equally have private organizations, that is mass media, trade associations, consumer associations, and Consumer Protection Council. All these, they are private organizations that are equally out to defend or protect the right of consumers. So what are the benefits of consumer protection? The benefits of consumer protection include 1. It enables consumers to enjoy goods and services to the maximum. That is, consumers have access to goods and services that they need without being restricted, and they are able to enjoy such products to the fullest. Number 2, it prevents price increase caused by artificial scarcity. That is, nobody has the power to deliberately withdraw products from circulation in order to increase the price of such goods. So the consumers are protected. Consumer protection so actually offer the opportunity to protect consumers against such an act. Number 3, it makes high quality goods and services available to consumers. That is, before goods are released into the market, so they must have gone through the various stages of the institutions or organs of governments that are responsible for monitoring, testing, and making sure that such products meet the required standard. Then it promotes constant supply of essential goods and services. So nobody can just stop the supply of essential goods and services such as electricity, water supply, and food items. So the law is the consumer protection laws and institutions and organs, so they have to protect consumers against such act. Then it discourages consumers from using discourages consumers against deceptive weights and measurements. That is, before a consumer actually buy a product, so it must be of the required standard. So regardless of the measurement that is being used, so such product must have met the required standard in that particular measurement. It helps in protecting consumers from false adverts. So no manufacturer or producer can just push out any deceptive or falsehood advert to the society. So, and consumer protection will work against such a manufacturer or consumer. Reference materials. The reference materials include where you can obtain more information, include Simplified and Amplified Commerce for Senior Secondary School by Femi Longe. Number 2, Business Studies for Basic 7 to 9 by Ofo FE. Then number 3, we have Business Studies for GSS 3 by Igby T. In conclusion, consumers generally are believed to be kings today. Therefore, in order to support this claim, there's need to actually shield consumers or defend them from the excesses of producers and sellers. Assignment. Kindly work on the following assignment. 1. Define the following terms. A consumer. B, consumer rights. C, consumer protection. And D, state 4 rights of a consumer. Then number 2, list and explain 5 needs for consumer protection. And B, mention 5 organs of consumer protection. Thank you for your time.